Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance on my other channel. On this channel, I talk about other things. Like today when I'll be reviewing the new Nollywood film in cinemas, Palava. Palava is a comedy about Osa Wonder, a musician who is trying to navigate his career and manage his large family at the same time. The film stars Richard Mofe-Damijo and is directed by Niyi Akinmolayan. Now, before I dive into the review, I feel like I need to give a couple of disclaimers in order to manage your expectations, really. First of all, this review will be different from my other reviews in the way I address it. There are certain things that I address in my reviews that I won't address in this review of Palava. So that's one. And another reason is because if I speak my mind on how I feel about this film, Palava, certain people's feelings will get hurt. Creatives generally they tend to be quite sensitive people, but in Nollywood, they are particularly sensitive. And Nollywood practitioners are not very good at handling or taking constructive criticism. So sometimes you just have to avoid it altogether. So in a bid not to hurt people's feelings and because of the collateral damage, right, I'm not going to express how I really feel about this film, Palava. Secondly, I cannot in good conscience say how I feel about this film because I know that this film, they spent money to make this film, and I know that December is a very busy period in the cinemas. I mean, next week I think Avatar is coming out. Funke Akindele has a film coming out this month, December as well, and so does Tony Abraham, who's, these are big players, in the industry, and lots of people flock to go and see their films. So it's tougher for other movies. So I cannot in good conscience say things that I think may affect the bag of other films, knowing how tough or how competitive the market is right now. Yes, but even if I'm not entirely forthright in this video, I'm confident that most of you who are used to my reviews will be able to read between the lines and will be able to decipher the innuendos, and you know whether or not this is a film that is suited for you. And even if you don't go and see it in the cinemas now, I'm sure that in a couple of months it will get on Prime Video because Inkblot is in partnership with Prime Video, and so is Niyi Akinmolayan, who directed this film. So, still go and see it in the cinema. I'm not saying you shouldn't go and see it in the cinema. This is going to be tougher than I thought. That said, guys, let's begin by looking at, instead of the performances, which is what I typically start off with, let's look at who should actually go and see this film, Palava. My goodness. Oh, and please remember to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well by clicking on the like button and clicking on the black subscribe button. Let it not be that because I'm trying to placate Nollywood and their practitioners that I forget what's actually important to me, which is you guys liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Please, let's be guided. Who should see it? This movie, Palava, is produced by Inkblot Studios, and they've brought us films in the past like The Setup 1, The Setup 2, Superstar, The Perfect Arrangement, Blood Covenant. What else have they given us? Quam's Money. So yeah, these are the films that they've made, and also the film is directed, this film Palava is directed by Niyi Akinmolayan, and he's directed films in the past like The Setup 1, Elevator Baby, Prophetess, what else has he directed? The Man for the Job, and Chief Daddy 1 and Chief Daddy 2. So if you've seen any of these films and if they were your cup of tea, then you'll probably enjoy Palava as well. More importantly, if you've seen any of these films, these aforementioned films, you understand the storytelling style of the filmmakers, and if it agrees with you, then you'll probably enjoy Palava as well. Yes. The performances, star-studded cast. You had people like Richard Mofe-Damijo, Segun Arinze was in the film, Gideon Okeke, Akpofure, Chinedu Ikedieze. Who else was in the film? So that's on the men's side. On the women's side, you had Iyabo Ojo, Bisola Aiyeola, Beverly Naya, Beverly Osu, Ejiofor, Jemima Osunde, the lovely Jemima Osunde. Have I said Omawumi Megbele? So yeah, star-studded cast, no doubt. And I only want to talk about two actors in the film. Iyabo Ojo. I felt she really did well. I felt like she really wanted to give that character life. I felt it in her performance, right? Surprisingly, while I was watching this film, I was trying to remember other Iyabo Ojo performances I've seen in recent times, and I couldn't think of any. I think the last film I saw her in was it The Ghost and the Tattoo? But I haven't seen Iyabo Ojo in any films in 2022. Next, I want to talk about Bisola Aiyeola. Her performance was really good as well. I felt like she was trying her best to bring life to that character. Her performance was impressive as well. Briefly, I want to touch on RMD's performance. He plays the musician Osa Wonder, this fictional musician Osa Wonder in the film, who is, he's kind of a big deal, but I don't think I was really buying RMD as a musician. It wasn't particularly convincing. He was charismatic, but in a way that RMD is typically charismatic. I don't know if he had the cadence and the courage and the mannerisms of a musician, particularly one in his 50s/60s, right? I wasn't convinced that he could play the guitar, and I wasn't convinced that he could sing either. And also, it's because I don't think they gave us enough music in this film. They could have done with us giving us a bit of a musical performance or more of a because there are times when he's on stage and he's, pulling it off, or that sounded weird. Where he's trying to, look like he's performing music, right? But it didn't. It was very surface. He wasn't singing. He wasn't really plucking the strings on the guitar. I wasn't buying it. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't buying. He wasn't convincing as a musician to me. Yes, I mean, I've said more than I needed to say, but I think you guys get the picture. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Similarities to Chief Daddy 2. I actually wanted to do an expectations video before I went to go and see this film. I just didn't find the time. In that segment, I wanted to sit down and say on camera what I expect this movie to, be like when I eventually see it, and see if my expectations match the reality of the film. And in that video, I was going to say that from the trailer, this film kind of reminds me of Chief Daddy 1 and 2. And surprisingly, when I was chatting with one or two friends, after seeing the film, they said that the trailer also gave them Chief Daddy 2 vibes. Surprisingly, the film does bear certain resemblances to Chief Daddy 1 and 2. For instance, in this film, there are 3 actresses that are in Palava who are also in Chief Daddy 1 and 2. The Beverlys, Beverly Osu and Beverly Naya, as well as Linda Ejiofor. Secondly, this film, Palava, is directed by the same director who did Chief Daddy 1 and 2, Niyi Akinmolayan. And finally, not to give too much away, the plot of the film is similar to that of Chief Daddy 1 and 2 as well, in the sense that it's about a wealthy man. However, in Chief Daddy 1 and 2, the man is late, but in this film, Palava, he's alive. It's about a wealthy man and his large family, like scrambling for money associated with him. So yes, it's similar in that regard as well. And it's incredibly shocking that, given the way people reacted to Chief Daddy 2 back in January of this year, 2022, that a studio, in this case Inkblot, would lust after or desire to make a film similar to that. It's all I'm still trying to process it all, to be honest, and I'm waiting for the reactions to come in. So yes, that's just something that I observed, and if people got the Chief Daddy vibe from the trailer of Palava, I imagine they'd get the same vibe once they see the film, kind of like I did. Interesting times. Anyway guys, Palava is in cinemas right now. Be sure to go and see it if you're a fan of any of the actors in the film, or if you think Palava will be your cup of tea. Now, this weekend I also put out another video. It's actually my top 10 worst Nollywood films of 2022. I dropped it today, in fact. Please be sure to check that out as well by clicking the card in the corner of the screen to check out if any of your worst Nollywood films of 2022 are in my list. Now, on this channel, I don't just do Nollywood movie reviews. I also talk about relationships. So to check out any of my relationship videos or my past Nollywood reviews, you can click the card in the corner of the screen as well. Or if you're into personal finance, you can check the description box below for lots of information down there actually, but also for a link to my personal finance channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy holidays, compliments of the season. I didn't have time to decorate my background with Christmas stuff. You guys get the picture. You'll be all right. Everybody will be fine. And I will see you guys hopefully real soon in the top 10 worst Nollywood films of 2022 video, or in whichever review I put out next. Take care, guys. Catch you in the next one.